Hello, 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 and thank you for tuning in. So my name is Russell. This is for Chits and Giggles, and I'm doing a live stream for the game Stop Thief, which you can kind of see there, but I'll show you up in close. Stop Thief, designed originally by a man named Dr Robert Doyle, but this is an update to the 1979 classic. Hello, Paul. Thank you so much for popping in. As always, a pleasure to have you here, even if it's briefly. And this was updated by the team Restoration Games, which published the update, and a design team that consists of Rob Daviau and a man called Justin Jacobson. I believe those two are the guys who are kind of behind the company itself. So it's very cool and very hands-on with the publishing and designing. So this is Stop Thief. It's a competitive and cooperative game for 1 to 4 players. So that includes a solo mode. You're busy playing with dinosaurs, so got this on in the background. That's totally fine. I'm assuming the dinosaurs... I'm going to take a guess, and it's possibly for one of the unmatched sets, because I know you like to paint miniatures. And that's the only game I can think of with dinosaur miniatures in it, but maybe I'm wrong. So 1 to 4 competitive and cooperative game, obviously not at the same time, where you are trying to catch thieves who are kind of making them their way around this sort of map, which you can kind of see in the bottom right corner here, where it's like a busy sort of town centre. You've got 4 buildings, lots of valuables in them, and the thieves will be trying to go around, steal as much money as they can, and you are attempting to stop them. Now, in the competitive game, you play an individual private investigator or a detective. I believe it will say in the rules, and I'm so sorry for messing that up. Private investigators, I was right. So you're a private investigator, and you're trying to get as many thieves as you can, because every time you do, you'll get money. And in the competitive game, the first player to achieve or attain a certain amount of money wins the game. However, in the cooperative version, you are all trying to work together to try and stop the gang, headed up by a lady called Debbie Atlantic, before they can steal $50,000. So you can see here on the left. I'll kind of zoom in on that in a bit, but that's what you're trying to stop them before they steal all the money. And there are 7 of them, because the name of the gang is called the Atlantic. The name of the game is called the Atlantic 7, and so you're trying to stop them before they steal all $50,000. So thank you for everyone who is tuning in. I'm going to teach this game, but first I just wanted to see if anybody wants to ask any questions. Maybe you played the original. I haven't. I'm a very big fan of the art. Debbie Atlantic, yes. I'll show you Debbie Atlantic, actually. Let me show you Miss Debbie Atlantic. This is one of the cards that you are allowed to see. So Debbie Atlantic, as you can see there, that's her. She's the head of this gang. Hello, Steph. Thank you for tuning in. So while at large, when you get a clue, get 2 instead, meaning that she moves twice as fast as the other kind of gang members. So I believe in the original it was Danny Atlantic, but they've changed it to a lady, which I think is a valid move, especially these days when ladies do need more representation in gaming. So good for them and good for us, because we get to play a more interesting game. And as you can see, actually, the cast of characters. And let's turn over to the actual map so you can see it. I'm just, because I'm not getting to use my phone this time, because I'm going to have to use it for the app. Chat's going to be a bit slow for me today. So there you go. You can see there the map with the box in the way. So let me move that out of the way. You can see that there's a cast of 5 people here. Now, there is 6 characters in this game. And Steph, don't you worry, I'm going to teach you all how to play the game. But there are 6 characters, but I've purposely avoided this, not for any particular reason other than he's got a very poor kind of ability compared to the others, because every character plays slightly different, and because I'm playing on my own, it's a solo game, I'll be playing as one private investigator. But as you can see, this one, the ability for this one says, before moving, you may also move another investigator 4 spaces, and I'm playing as myself, so that's pretty useless. So I'm not playing as those. However, this does mean that you guys get to choose which of the 5 characters that I play as. They probably have names, but if you want, you can just refer to them as colours. But if you want to give them a name as well, go for it. So you've got this gentleman here. His ability, let me explain what the abilities are first, and then maybe that'll help you. So this one's ability, the numbers, by the way, are all different, and I'll explain what they mean. But for now, just know that higher numbers are better. They all have the ability to gain a private tip, which again will be explained in the game, but all of them do. But this guy's special ability says that, no, sorry, that's not true. Getting a private tip, some of them can, but this one allows you to get a private tip before you move, as well as after you move in the game. And they all have this ability that says at the end of your turn, pick up all your movement cards. This is only when you play that, when you get the cards back. Yellow and green don't show up as well on camera, so go with red, black, or blue. Blue, okay, so blue seems to be in the lead so far. We've got votes for each of these, and a blue is the main one. So we're eliminating, red, black, and blue. So these three are the ones. We're going to eliminate these two right away, but I'm still going to explain what the abilities are. So this gentleman here, he's a blonde fellow with a mustache, looks very kind of like 80s, 90s cop. Maybe even a bit 70s with that mustache, actually. His ability is, look how high his numbers are, very high. So he can move around all over the place. Then we've got this lady here, who's the color black, and her ability is she gets to move some of her movement spaces outside for free. So if she does move outside during a turn, she can move for free. And the blue lady here, she's got a little bit of a tattoo there, which is actually pretty cool, because she's got a little magnifying glass with a little heart inside. Her name's Kathy, apparently. And her ability is that she can move through windows spaces, which other players can't. And this lady here, she's a bit of a punky kind of lady with her coloured hair there. And her ability is that she can arrest from further away. So probably should have explained the game rules before I went through that. But yeah, let's explain how the game works. So as I said, there's two versions of this game. There's the competitive version and there's the cooperative version. So we're playing the cooperative, but I'm playing it on my own. So I'm going to be one player. Now there is some slight rules differences, very slight rules differences with the single player game. But I'll explain the competitive game because that's the one I've played the most. Okay, so in this game, as you can see, this is a map, 4 buildings, lots of little numbered spaces and lots of little circle spots here as well along the board, and there's a little footprints in between each of these spaces. These are the paths that the characters can take. So in the competitive game, you are trying to capture these thieves, which in this game, you won't see these cards because it's the cooperative, but in the competitive game, there's a whole deck of kind of criminals here, and each of them has a bounty on their head. I think 10,000 is the most, but there are some special ones. For example, it'll bump up depending on certain aspects of the game, but each one has a bounty on their heads, and if you arrest that character, that's the bounty you will get. So you're trying to arrest as many as you can, as quickly as you can, before the other players, because only you will get the bounty if you catch them. So when the game begins, each player, well, you choose who's going to go first, and basically you are going to take turns playing one of your kind of cards and then moving that number of space. But first of all, before I do that, there's 3 parts to every turn. So when your turn begins, the first thing you'll do is you'll use the app. So I'm going to show you the app now. So the app is very nice. In fact, I should have left it on because can you hear that? Because that's the kind of background music. It's not going to be when you play the game, but this is kind of like the home screen, which I think is quite neat. So you use the app. I'm going to just do a new game for competitive. And you can, so yeah, the player is the first one, is the one who suggested this game. So it's nice, it tells you how to choose the first player. And the first thing you'll do on your turn is you'll get a clue. So you'll swipe this, and this will be an audio clue. So I'm going to move it right up to the microphone, and this is the clue. Okay, so you hear that is an alarm sound. That means that the character, the criminal, is on one of these alarm spaces. The app actually tells you the name of the building which they're in. So there's 4 buildings. We've got Dr. Doyle's Electronics. We've got the Swinnertons, which looks to be like kind of a clothing department store. Then you've got the Museum of Modern Antiquity. And then you've got this one, which is the Trust US Bank. And so the 4 buildings, this one's telling you that they're in Dr. Doyle's Electronics. So you know that he's on one of these alarm spaces. There are different audio clues as well. If you hear footsteps, they are on one of these black squares, which are all numbered, by the way. And the number is important because when you are trying to catch a criminal, you need to kind of indicate that by arresting on one of these numbered spaces. and that goes for all of the spaces where you can arrest. They all have numbers. The other clue that you can get is a sound of a breaking window, which means they're on one of these window spaces. Picked one without one. So there's lots of window spaces even internally. Then the other clue that you can get, I'm going to go back to the chat. Hello, Tom. Thank you for joining, by the way. If I don't get to your chat immediately this time, it's because I'm not using my phone for chat. I'm using it for the game itself because I'm using an app. So apologies if I slightly delayed. Okay, so the other audio clue you can get is the sound of a door opening, and that means they're on one of these door spaces. The other audio clue you can get is a sound of just outside, meaning they're on an outside space, which is indicated by these sort of diamond spaces. There are also, by the way, numbered streets. So the number of street that they're in is indicated by the first number of the the space. So if they're on 7th Street and you hear outside, they're on one of these spaces beginning with number 7. So it kind of narrows down where they could be, which does help in this game. Okay, so the other clue that you can get is a subway space. And there are 5 subway spaces on the board. You've got the 4 on the corners, and you've got the one in the middle, helpfully blocked by this. I'm going to guess, based on the fact that nobody has mentioned one of these, we're going to be playing as the blue player. So I'm going to remove all of these now so it can help me teach this game. So Kathy is her name, and we'll be playing as Kathy. And Kathy's going to start in the middle subway space there. Okay, so 4 subway spaces. The other clue that you can get in the cooperative game is the sound of laughter. So if you hear laughter, it means they're actually somewhere that's not a crime scene or not a crime scene. I'm going to have to check the rules for this because it was new to me. Hold music. The laughter means that they are not in a... it doesn't say, that's so weird. It did say in the app. Let's go back to the app, sorry. Go back to home, come on. New game, solo. Because there's something here... I'm getting stuck in this, right? Revolve solo. There's a laughter, which means that they are... it doesn't say in here either, damn it. So I will get to that later on, but it says it means the pack moved secretly and you don't get a specific sound clue, but it does specifically say in the rules somewhere that if you've just caught someone, they're going to move up to 2 spaces away, and there is either laughter or just regular hold music or something like that. So hold music is another one, which means that they haven't moved since the last time. So the audio clue, the first part of your phase, get a clue, gives you some information about where the current thief is. The second thing that you'll do on your turn is you'll play a card. As we've seen, there are some cards with numbers on. The numbers, as you might imagine, indicate how much movement you have during the game. So when you play a card, you can move up to that number of spaces. Now let's talk about movement. It's very simple. Every space, whether it's a numbered space or one of these circle spaces, counts as one movement. So whenever you go into a space, that's using up one of your movements. So I generally find it's better when you kind of mark where you start with before you sort of end your turn and count away. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on. And wherever you end up, you may then arrest as your third action in your space if you're on a numbered space, or an adjacent space if you're on a circular space. And when you decide to arrest, that is when you choose the number of the space that you're going to arrest, and you then use the app to put that number in. Then the app will tell you whether you have correctly arrested someone, or you have incorrectly guessed or tried to arrest someone, just arrested an innocent member of the public, in which case you are penalized, I believe, by losing money from the pot. Okay, so movement, I didn't quite finish. You aren't allowed to move through window spaces, but other than that, movement is fairly standard. If you if you move into a subway space at the beginning, during your turn, you are no longer allowed to use any of your movement points left. So let's say I had 10 movement and I could go 1. That would end all of the movement points from my card, but you are allowed to move for free to one of the adjacent subway spaces, and that's the end of your movement. So subways obviously help you move further along the board, but it comes at the cost of potentially wasting a lot of your movement points for that turn. So movement points. So let's just check in the chat. Can you only move 8 when you play 10? No, you can move... Yes, you don't have to use all of your movement. You can move up to that number of spaces. So you might only need 7, but you only have a 10 card left. That's fine. You can still play that. But yeah, that's the maximum number of movement points you're allowed to go. So the phases, just to remind you again, number 1 is get an audio clue from the app. Number 2 is play a movement card from your hand, resolving any actions on the card itself as well. In this instance, this character with this move may move onto or through window spaces, so they are not a deal breaker for me. They would not be allowed to do this if you were playing as another player, but if I play these cards, I'm allowed to move through window spaces. And then the third and final thing is to attempt to make an arrest. You don't have to do this. You won't, in fact, if you don't believe you are next to or on the space with the thief. So let's talk about resting. If you make an arrest, and I'm going to show you in the app here. Come on, new game, solo. So let's talk about an arrest. Okay, so we're going to get an audio clue. Okay, so they've started out with footprints. That's the sound you'll hear if they are not in a crime space, window, door, or outside. They're just on one of these sort of regular square spaces. But if I wanted to make an arrest, okay, I put the number in. So I'd put the number in here, and then I confirm. And then basically it tells me at this point saying whether you... No, exactly. So I incorrectly guessed there. And as a result, I have to take 1,000 from the loot and put it back in the box. That's actually harming my chances of winning the game. Hello, we're not wizards. Is this like Netsuki, Negative Burgle Brothers? Thanks all to correct. I guess it's the opposite of Burgle Brothers in that you are the ones trying to catch the thieves. So yes, I want to say yes, it is exactly like Negative Burgle Brothers. And thanks for joining, by the way. So yeah, if you make an arrest and it's incorrect, you lose money, but that's the end of your turn. And then the thief will the next turn, the thief will move based on the audio clue. When you do make a correct guess, you resolve the card. So let's use one of these, for example. You resolve the card by discarding it, gaining any money, and also resolving any actions which say when captured on it. That's when that occurs. It might make it harder for you, generally it will, or it might be a reward for you if you catch them. However, there are other cards here, and this applied to the cooperative version of the game as well as the competitive. There are some cards that basically have a active ability that says while at large. That means while that thief hasn't been caught, that ability comes into effect. So this one, for example, says investigators must pay $2,000 to get a private tip. So let's talk about private tips. In this game, you are allowed to get specific clues about where the thieves are, but that will cost you money because that's what's called using a private tip. So if I wanted to use a private tip, and I'm going to have to make sure this is correct in the solo version of the game, but if I wanted to get a private tip, like an indication of where the thief is, I can pay money. So cooperative mode, whenever your movement card tells you you can get a private tip, you may select to get a private tip on the app, and if you do, it costs you $1,000 from the loot. So you'll get rid of money, which is not obviously a bad thing, because once this runs out in the cooperative version of the game, you actually lose the game. But it will help you sometimes because you might need to know specifically where somebody is to work out, and that might help you like a couple of turns. Remember, every time a thief gets to a crime scene, okay, and this applies for both of the games, they're going to cost you money. In the cooperative version, it's $5,000. So if I let the thief go on for too long and they go onto a crime scene, they'll actually start depleting my sort of like amount of money here from the collection. What am I talking about? From the pot, right? And I don't want that to happen because I need to catch all 7 thieves before that happens. Another thing about the cooperative game is when you are playing as the cooperative. In the cooperative version of the game, the pack moves together. So there are 7 thieves here. That does not mean there are 7 different thieves around there. They are all moving together as a pack. Now, in my head, I imagine that like they're all kind of shuffling along together in a pack of 7, meaning it'd be fairly obvious if you was to see a pack of 7 people going around somewhere, and when you arrest them, one of them, then clearly you know where the other 6 are. But I'm just going to ignore that for that because it's kind of it just makes me laugh to think about it that way. So yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything, because that was a bit of a jumbled teach. I'm sorry. I'm really sorry about that. But I didn't really practice the teach before I started this stream because I thought I'll just wing it. And there we go. Lesson learned. Never try and wing it when you're teaching unless you know the game very well. So yeah, the game begins. I'm going to get a clue. Then I'm going to play a card. Then I'm maybe going to make an arrest. And then it goes on and on until I've caught all 7 thieves, or I have I've lost all of this money, in which case the thieves win. So we're going to try this on the regular difficulty. Let's go through quickly my cards. I've already explained to them the actions here. Two of the cards actually say that I can move through windows, so it kind of helps me, because sometimes the best way to get somewhere, or the quickest way to get somewhere, is actually through a window or blocked by a window. So maybe these will help me. The other cards that I've got are the before moving, get a private tip. So I can play this card, but before I actually use the movement, I can enter into the private tip and get one, and it costs me 1,000, which goes out of the game, but it helps me find out where I'm going. So I can use those movement points to go towards that specific spot. And then the last one, which every player has, is at the end of your turn, pick up all your movement cards. There was specifically a rule change for the solo mode, and this one says, in the solo mode, when you catch a thief, immediately pick up all your used movement cards and put them back into your hand. So that means I don't have to then go into finding the next thief with a sort of depleted hand of cards. So when I've played a card, it goes into a discard pile, and the only way to get it back generally is to either catch a thief or to play the low valued card there. So I've got a number 2, a 3, a 7, 8, 10, and 11. So we're ready to begin now. So let's crack on with this. If you have any questions about the game, and I can see that my camera is not going to play nicely today. It keeps moving all about the place. So if the camera does sort of slip or anything, let me know so I can help. And I'm going to try my best to keep the audio audible for the duration of this game. So we're going to do a new game, yes, and we're going to go into the solo mode. Okay, so are we ready for our first clue? So let's hear this. By the way, you might hear some audible background noise. I've had the windows and the doors open today because it's very warm. So if you hear random noise, that does not mean I'm outside. It should be very clear, and I will make it very clear when I'm actually outside, when the thief is outside in the game. So actually, before we start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reveal the first thief. So let's have a look. We've got the wheelmen. So when captured, all investigators must return to space 500. Okay, so I need to capture the wheelmen, and they are not worth any money because this is the cooperative version of the game, but they will help me. So I didn't get how the thieves move. Okay, so yes, okay, we'll go for that. So thieves always move between numbered spaces, so they do not ever end up on a space that's not got a number on it. Only I or the players can use those spaces, and they actually count as movement. However, thieves, and let's specifically do this because I know that they have different movement. The thieves, the pack always moves together. The pack always starts on a space inside a building. The pack will often move through a door or window. Okay, so they will often move through a door, as in they'll start on one side and they'll go out the other side. But they may return to a space in the room or on the street they came from. So let's an example here. I'm just going to use this one. So the thief decides to go there. So you hear a door sound. But then they may go back to a different space in that room. Or versus they could go into the door and turn around and go back out. So you'll hear a street clue, then a door clue, then a street clue. So you'll still know that they haven't gone through the door or the window. If they're outside here, it'll be different, obviously. But they may go through it. They often do it, but they may go back out of the door after going onto it. And that's the same for a window as well. And it does specify that it's not the exact same space. The pack will always move to a new subway space if they enter one, and they never take the subway 2 turns in a row. Fine. And the pack may return to a crime scene they previously robbed, but they can only rob each crime scene once. If they return to a previously robbed space, the app will play footsteps. So I've got to be careful that I do not assume that if they have gone and, say, robbed here, and I hear footsteps later on, they could have gone back to that space. So I'm going to need to keep track of that. I see. So one movement, thanks. Yes, they'll move one space. It also says, because it says here, thieves always move from one numbered space to the next numbered space. The footprints, I know you can't see them because the quality of my camera isn't great, but the footsteps have like directions, but that doesn't mean anything in this game. Like they can always move any direction, regardless which way the footprints are going. And it says the thieves always move on spaces with a number, never moving on unnumbered circles, never returning to the space they just moved from the turn before, and they'll never stay in the same space 2 turns in a row. Okay, so I think that's fine. And I'm just checking I haven't missed anything. Yes. So yeah, the only thing I wanted to clarify is about the subway space for me. If investigators on a subway space may move to any other subway space on the board for free, even if they have no movement left. After moving to the new space, they must immediately stop moving. Cool. So, but you can still resolve effects. Okay, so I'm going to keep the rulebook on hand because I have a feeling it's not gonna be the last time I need to go to that. So apologies. Okay, so let's get started. All right, so I've got my hand of cards here. I think I'm just going to put them onto the board so you can see them. And I'm going to just move them if I need to. But generally, there's never a reason that I'm going to be on more than where I am here. So I can just move the cards. So let's put them here for now. And I may need to move them if the app tells me they're in the Museum of Modern Antiquity. So are we ready to begin? I think so. Let's go. Okay, so slide to get a clue. Okay, so I know that they are now in Dr. Doyle's electronics. So I know that they're on one of these square spaces in Dr. Doyle's electronics. Okay, so now that's the first thing. Now I get to choose to play a card. Now, do I want to get a private tip? Oh, by the way, I start here. So I could just run in there. And just go for it. Hey, Paul, you delicious wonder. I love that. It's a great creative compliment. So I don't know whether to just run in there or whether I should just kind of what's the word? Not hesitantly, carefully, cautiously, that's the one. Cautiously move towards there, waiting to know more information before I actually decide to do anything. Now, my concern here is there's 4 robbed spaces in that building, and if they get all 4 of them, that's 20,000 out. So do I want to get a private tip by playing this card, knowing that when I get the thief, I'll get that card back, and I can just kind of, as I said, casually make my way over there. I do have window cards, so I can kind of move over here and I can go into a window if necessary. I think that's probably my best shot. What do you think, guys? I'm going to do it anyway. So I'm going to play this card. It's 3, but before moving, get a private tip. So I'm going to get a private tip. Are you sure you want to get a private tip? Private tips cost 100. I wish I could have this on the screen, but I'm just going to show that to you now. For now, actually, I could probably up the brightness a little bit so you can see it just a little bit better. Yeah, so there we go. This is the app. It's actually a very nice looking app, as you can see. It's got very nice aesthetics to it. And I'm gonna get that private tip. It's gonna cost me 1,000. So 1,000. Okay, so annoyingly, I didn't realize this, but when you do the private tip in cooperative mode, it only gives you the first number. So this is where it's telling me. It's telling me it's in number 1. Wonderful. Well, I knew that already, so that's annoying. But it's fine. It is probably going to be harder to do this, but it's okay. I can still move 3 spaces, which is kind of what I wanted to do anyway. So I'm going to move towards this direction. That card is now discarded. I'll put that over here because you can still see that. And then we will go on to the next thing, which is whether I want to make an arrest. Of course, I don't want to make an arrest, so I'm going to end my turn. Okay, so where are they next? They have moved 2 spaces in a row. So at this point, we know that they've either gone between these 2 spaces, between 2 of these 3 spaces. They could have gone between here or in between these kind of 3, any of those 3 spaces. So we've kind of narrowed it down a little bit, but in my opinion, not nearly enough. We know they're not here though, because they haven't robbed somewhere, so there's no chance they're going to be in a space where they've already robbed. So I know they're in this room, this room. That's somewhat helpful. I think chances are they're going to be in this room, so I'm going to make my way in here. But do I want to use the window? I think so. I think I'm going to use the lesser window number. So I'm going to play the 7. So I'm going to move, again, I'm going to use my own tip here. So I'm going to go 1 by holding where I start, just in case I change my mind. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I am taking a chance here and assuming they're here. I don't want to make an arrest because that's going to cost me money. I think I need more information. So I'm going to end my turn without making an arrest. So let's get a new clue. Okay, so they have robbed a space. So this £5,000 dollars, sorry, goes out of the game, And now we are going to figure out where they could possibly be. So I still have money. That's good. So the app kind of directs you a little bit as well. At the end there, it's saying, do you still have money left? I'm like, yeah, I've got plenty of money left. So you might have lost the game at that point. But as we do have money left, we carry on. So looking at this, they could still be in this room because they could have gone from here to here to here. They could have also gone from here to here to here. They couldn't have gone here, actually, unless they started here, in which case they would have gone here and then here. So I think, based on where we can see right now, they are in one of these spaces. But the question is, do I want to risk making an arrest now, where I can possibly capture them, or do I want to give myself a little bit more information first? What do you think, guys? Let's look at the chat. No chat. So yeah, if you are interested, by the way, this is just kind of nerdy, but I updated, and this is not a way for me to encourage you to put money into this, but I updated the alert widget so that if you donate a single bit, the little kind of GIF comes up, which is kind of neat. And I used a new one as suggested by my audience on Twitter. So again, don't feel like you have to do that. But if you were watching and you're like, I'm curious, and you can spare one bit just to see it, you can just check it out. It'll come up a bit on that little, like right above me at the top of that screen, that big kind of gap. I've actually increased the size of when somebody follows or subscribes on YouTube, etc. So that's kind of something I spent my time doing. 164. You think 164, yeah? I think that's not a bad guess. I mean, it's just as valid. It's the more possible one, because it could have started here or here, in which case, no, sorry, that's not true. They could have started here or here and then there, but here you'd only start from here to get there. I don't think they would have gone there and there, but maybe they did, I don't know. I'm thinking 164 is probably, oh yeah, and also you could have got to 164 from starting here as well. So yeah, I think 164 is a good shout, actually. Paul says, I'm not sat at the computer at the moment, I'm still playing with dinosaurs. I vote for 144, it's hard to tell the numbers. I'm so sorry, by the way, and thank you for watching Not Yet Again. I am going to, I'm going to just check something, because I may be able to, do a close-up. It's not, I'm going to just, do some editing on the fly here, because I think, let me just do board game, duplicate this one. Sorry, I'm just going to try and do it so I can zoom in a little bit. Oh, nope, I didn't want to do that. Oops, I can't go back. Oh, goodness me. Okay, that's fine. I can still fix that. Okay, and then I want to go to the... that's not the one. Come on. Where are you at? Where you at? I just want to make sure that if I zoom in a little bit. Okay, I mean, this is not going to work at all, right? But I'm going to zoom in. So let's see what happens. Is that any clearer? I can't really tell. You can kind of see the numbers, I guess. I could literally move that around if you wanted. It's not pretty, but it still works. So yeah, this is 144 and this is 164 here. So yeah, maybe I'll just zoom in any time that I see like we need to look at a specific area of the board. So actually, it's just gonna have a look at this and just make it a bit bigger still. So yeah, I could literally move this on the fly. Is that easier? Can you see? I don't know. It's comparable, and you can infer numbers from nearby ones that are easier to read. Okay, so let's do that. We're in this bit of the board right now, and it's not the most neat or clear, because I'm still using a webcam, unfortunately, but that should hopefully help. So I'm going to go, I think I want to do 164, just because it seems like it's more likely that would be the case. So I only need to go, I need 4 spaces, so I'll just use one of my, this 10 card here. So I'm going to spend the 10 card. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm going to attempt to make an arrest. Actually, I've thought about something different. I was 1, 2, 3. I didn't use my tip there, did I? I'm going to do something. No, I can't do it. I can't. No, I'm going to have to use that. Okay, fine. I'm going to end here, though, because if it's not 164, then I can use my 2 card to just jump over here. But, I mean, they'll be gone. They'll be gone by that point. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just going to go here. I'm going to make an arrest on 164. So I'm going to make an arrest, 164. So I'm going to reveal this here and see if that's successful. Oh no. Okay, well that's fine. We've lost 1,000 because I guess that's the financial cost to the police when you make a mistake. But we can pretty safely say that they are on 144 right now. So that's good. It's something. So I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Sorry guys. Let's go back up to this. And then we're going to still have money, thankfully. We know they're there now. We know they're there. So that's good. So let's see what the next clue is. Okay, so they've gone through a door, which is annoying because we know that they're either in one of these doors over here. What do you think? I think they'll have gone down to this. I think it's worth it to take a chance to try and stop them before they get there, because worst case scenario, if they have gone in that door, then they're not going to get any money next time, and it's only costing us 1,000 to make a mistake. Yes, Steph, it is a pity. So I think they've gone to this one here. So I'm going to move over there. I am going to spend my high value card here. So 11. So I'm going to go, again, I'm going to use my tip. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am going to arrest. I'm going to make an arrest on 1, 2, 4. Hopefully that's right. Let's just check. This is 1, 2, 4. Hopefully you guys agree with me out there. Let's see what happens. Damn it. I'm literally just behind these guys. Okay, so that's 1,000 more gone. But again, we can pretty safely say they're here now. So I still have money. So let's get the next clue. And hopefully we are... Okay, so now, they did steal from here. So they could have gone back there. No, they haven't. We know that because they will not go back to a place they've already been. So I think they're here. They must be here, surely. I'm going to rush over them and do it anyway. So this is a bit wild. They're just kind of reckless, but let's do it. So I'm going to play 8, my 8 card. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to go here because if they, actually, I'm going to go just here. So 1, 2, 6. I'm going to zoom in a little bit for you guys. Go back. Oh, nope, that didn't work. How did that not work? I thought I zoomed in there. Sorry. I don't know why that didn't work close up. Okay, apparently not. Wait, is that... Oh no, I did this one. There we go. So I think they are here right now because they were in one of these doors. We tried there. They weren't there. So they must be here. And so I think they've gone here because we can pretty much rule out this space here. So I'm gone here using my 8 card. Going to make an arrest. And that's number 126. So let's see. Will we finally catch one of these thieves? Can you see that? Yes! Hooray! We did it! Okay, so you have successfully caught one of the Atlantic 7. So this card is done. Bye-bye. The second thing is, remove the top card and turn to the box. So you captured one of the Atlantic 7, but the rest of the gang escaped and has moved. The gang has moved again. So that laughter means they've moved somewhere secret. Now, I'm going to check what that means. But this one says, all investigators must return to space 500, which we will do. And do you remember the solo mode tells us that we get all our cards back. So we're fine. So we're going to move here. Okay, so the gang has moved again. The laughter means something. I'm not entirely sure what, but the laughter means... it means the pack moved secretly and you don't get a specific sound clue. Now, I believe that when they've been caught, this is something in the rules, actually. When you have caught, you've captured one of the pack. If the thief has a when captured effect, it happens now. Remove the card from the pack, return it to the box. The pack does not start a new path when a thief is caught. They immediately move 2 spaces. If they move into a... does it cost money to arrest if you catch the thief? No. If you catch them, you've done right. But if you don't catch them, I guess you've arrested an innocent person, and that money is the kind of fees to clean up that mess. The legal fees to cover yourself. $1,000 is probably about right, actually. They immediately move 2 spaces. If they move into a crime scene or subway space, you'll hear the regular sound. If they move into any other space, you'll hear laughter. So that's what I was telling about earlier on. Not yet again. Yes, there we go. You will hear the regular sound. If they move into any space, you'll hear laughter. It's now the next player's turn. They select Get Clue as normal. The pack will have moved 3 spaces from where the arrest was made before the next player moves their investigators. So that's what that means. Okay, so that does mean that we now have guaranteed that they started here. They'll have moved 2 spaces. that is not into a subway or a crime scene, and they will now move another space based on the next clue that we get. So they are 2 spaces away from there. That's not on a crime scene. So let's see where they are. Ah, darn it. So it's got to be here, right? So let's say they go 2 spaces, 1, 2, and then 3. There's no one. I'm not sure if they can get to that one. But anyway, they've got 5,000. So they've got that, which sucks. Okay, Paul says, okay, gotta go. Charity raffle stuff to sort out. See you later. Good luck with that. That was a tremendous success. In case you didn't hear, Paul raised nearly 10,000, I think. Was it not between 9 and 10,000 pounds for charity through a charity raffle? And I'm only gutted that I didn't take part in that. I'm ashamed, but I unfortunately have been donating money from the stream, which I've been doing for the last month, which isn't loads, but it's something. And I just unfortunately don't have enough money to donate stuff right at the moment. But fantastic job. I mean, you did really well there. And so yeah, good luck with sorting that out. Hope it goes well. Awesome. Okay, so I still have money, so we carry on. And now we'll have to decide whether to play a card that kind of rushes us over there. I think, well, let's count the spaces to get there. Let's say we're aiming for here. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So I could get there and try and make an arrest there. I think it's worth it for $1,000. I don't know about you, but I think it's worth it. So let's do that. I'm going to play the 11 card, and now we're going to move 11 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And I can arrest on an adjacent space. So let's do that. 1, 4, 6. I hope this is right. Anyway. Oh yeah, I'm still zoomed in, so that's fine. Okay, so let's go for it. Fingers crossed. Yes! Oh man, that's great. Oh, I didn't reveal the actual thing, by the way. Okay, so here we go. The fence. We didn't reveal this one because I got distracted, but let's zoom back out. Here we go. So this card, which was the thief, by the way, which you didn't know about this, but it didn't impact the game, thankfully. It says, the fence, while at large, remove an extra $1,000. Thank you, not yet again, that's really kind. For every private tip and every false arrest. So, luckily, we didn't get a false arrest there. We got them, and so we didn't have to spend any money, and we caught them. So they are there, and we have resolved that. So they go, and there's no rewards, but I do get to gain my card back for what it's worth. And now we reveal the next card. Well, it says continue, so let's see what happens. Okay, so if you heard, that was 2 laughters. Did you hear that, actually? I'm not sure if you could hear that. But if it's 2 laughters, meaning that both spaces they moved were not crime scenes or subway spaces. So we can intonate from that that they have moved. They've moved basically into anywhere as far as this window. Let's zoom in again. This is kind of funny. So we can intonate that they've moved as far as this window. They could have gone to any of these spaces here. They could have also gone here to here to here. So they are in a number of spaces right now. We don't know where. So in that basis, okay, you could hear it. Good. That's good. It was in the middle of the thing, so I wasn't sure if it would pick it up. So I can actually move this back now, and you can see it. So let's continue. Remember, now we're going to get an actual audio clue based on where they are. So let's listen. Okay, so they're inside. That means that they could be around here somewhere. They could have used one movement there, and then they could be either here. They could actually have gone 1, 2, and in here as well. They could actually be here as well. They could be here. I don't think they would have, because they could have. No, they wouldn't have gone back there. So they're not there. We can pretty much say, but they could be either of these spaces here. So we can surmise that they're in one of these 4 spaces here. Can you see that? So they're in 127, 126, or 176, or 167. So there we go. Do windows make shattering glass noises? Yes, they do. They do make shattering glass noises. They do indeed. Okay, so now we're going to decide where to pursue. What do you think? Should we go up towards the left room, or should we go towards the big room? I'm going to guess that the crime scenes that they've already done I don't know for sure, but if the crime scenes they've already done don't matter anymore, I'm going to say they're going to go towards here. That's closer to this crime scene over here. So I would assume east, since it's hard for them to go back. I agree. So we're going to make our way over there, but how far do we want to go? Do we want to... Oh, we didn't reveal the thief again. I forgot. So let's have a look at the next thief. The saboteur. So, while at large, investigators may not use the subway, though they may still move onto a subway space. Okay, so that is the new guy we're going to capture. He looks a bit like the guy, is it Bernie Mac from Ocean's 11? That's who I assume he has been modelled after, a little bit like. But yeah, so that's the saboteur. I'm going to go back out to the zoomed out space so you can see him there. You can barely see him, but he is there. So that just means we can't move subways, but that's fine. I think we're going to catch him inside Dr. Doyle's electronics. Another note, by the way, about this game. This was very kindly sent to me by the lovely people at Restoration Games, specifically Justin. So I really wanted to thank Justin, just in case he is watching or he watches this on YouTube afterwards. Very kindly sent to me, and that was because he was very proud of the fact that there's a lot of Easter eggs in this game. There are a lot of Easter eggs in the game. If you observe, I mean, annoyingly, I don't have the camera quality for this, but there's lots of sort of little things in this game. I believe, obviously, there are the thieves are modelled after sort of famous people or are hints to famous characters in real things, but I'm not entirely sure what all of them are. There are like some stereotypes, you know, but I also think that the investigators themselves may have been modelled after people, but there's also little things in the game. I might do it at the end. I'll have a look at the end and I'll kind of point out the ones that I found because I think it's nice to look at those. Anyway, I've been deliberating for too long. We're going to look at the thing. We're going to go right. We assumed that they have taken 2 steps and then another step. So it's either 166 or 176 that we think. So they made 2 moves. Actually, they could be in either of these 3 spaces. I think that I'm going to go to 166. Actually, I'll go here. I'll go here and I'm not going to make an arrest. I think I need more information. If they go through the door, though, that'll give us all the information we need. I think they're going to go down here. So how do we get there? We need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go here, actually. 166. So I need 6 spaces, which means that I'm going to use my high number 10 card. So I'm going to spend the 10. I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 spaces. I'm going to end my turn. They make 2 moves and the door would count as 1 correct. Was the door the last one I hit? Oh, I can review. No, they didn't use a door because, I mean, they could have used the door, but the laughter was the door. Yes. So we're assuming, based on the fact that we caught them, I think, here, right? Yes, we caught them at the crime scene. They would have made 2 anonymous moves, but we know that those moves were not on subway spaces or crime scenes because it would have played the normal sound. So they've moved 2 secret spaces, and then the 3rd space they moved was onto a normal spot. So that's why I think they went through here and potentially are in this room somewhere. They're not outside, they're inside somewhere, and I think it seems more likely that they'd go towards here because I think this is where they're going. Again, we don't know for sure. But that's the guess. So, yeah, I think I'm not going to make an arrest. I think it's too early. I think we're just going to go and end the turn and see what they do next. So we're going to do another audio clue. I'm going to bring this over. 2 laughs and then the 3rd one got it. Thanks. Yes, so that's thanks to the rule book. It was quite clear there. Otherwise, I would have mistaken. That's why you hear 2 laughs, which is weird. It just basically means they're going to do 2 moves to give them a bit of a head start, but it's going to give you not very much information, just that they haven't moved into a crime space or a subway space. So, okay, so they're walking. Do we think they've gone down here? I feel like I want to take a chance here. There's too many walking spaces. It seems like weird they would have gone up here, then here, then here, then here. I think they've gone either up here, then here, and then up here, up here, up here, and up here. I think they could be there. If they're going to go for this, that's where I think they've gone. So how do I get there? I can get there in 1, 2, 3 spaces to make an arrest, but why not go, well, it's kind of annoying because this private tip is not very useful. You assume 174. I also assume 174. I'm going to zoom in again so you can see. There we go. So yeah, I think they've gone. I think that they've moved from here. They went 1, 2, 3, 4. I think they're trying to get to this bit here. So I also think they're on 174, and I think it's worth £1,000 to try. I think I'm just gonna. I see somebody there. I don't know if they're the guilty party, but I'm just gonna arrest them anyway. So we're gonna make our way over here. Oh, that's discarded, by the way. So we're gonna spend my lower card. It doesn't matter at this point. I'm just trailing them at this point. But maybe I should save a high one just in case they're over here. So I'm going to play my lowest card to get there. 1, 2, 3. I'm going to play the 3 card. I'm not going to get the private tip because it doesn't actually help me that much in this game. It just tells me which kind of number they're in. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to an attempt arrest. So although they're a different thief, can they go back to 1, 2, 1, 2, 8? Where you say 1, 2, 8? Where is 1, 2, 8? 1, 2, 8. 1, 2, 8 is here. So they're not there because it's a window space. But if you're assuming 1, 2, 6, which is this one, they could. But I was just saying it just seems a weird choice for me because they would have had to go, because they've made 4 moves and the last 2 are footprints. They would have had to go 1, 2, 3, 4. They can't have gone 1, 2, 3, 4 because one of those last 2, the penultimate clue would have been doors. So I think unless they've done something like 1, 2, 3, 4. No, they wouldn't have done that either. So it's very weird. 1, 2, 6 was where we caught the first thief, right? Yes, that one there. That's where we caught him. I think. Anyway, it was a long time ago. If I think so, yeah. So I think that they've gone this way, and I'm going to take a chance on this. So I'm going to make an arrest on 174, and let's see how it goes. All right. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. Nope. Okay, they're not there. That's fine. We paid £1,000 for that clue. So let's see. What does that mean? They could have just moved over here and tried to go down this space instead. Wait, did I choose? Wait, did I put 174, 176? Did I put 174? I'm pretty sure I did, right? Oh God, I can't remember. That's embarrassing. I'm pretty sure I put 174. Did you see that? I'm not sure if you did. I think I typed 174. Thank God, because I feel like I got a fool if that was the case. Okay, so we know that I think they're still in one of these 2 spaces over here. So we're gonna, we can't do anything else now. We get rid of that card and we go to the next clue. Okay, so I think they're here then. I think they're here because unless they've gone like a funny business over there, I think they're making their way towards this. So I think let's go to 165. What do you think? I think 165 is where they are. Not sure. So we'll have to figure it out. I think they've gone to 1. Yes, no, go for it. That is correct. I think that you are correct there. We're going to go for it. So I need to go 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces, but let's do 5 just in case. So let's go paying the 7 card. So again, using my little tip there. So 1, 2, 3, 4 cards. We're gonna arrest on space 165. So let's do it. Let's do it on camera so you can see. Right, let's make sure that I put the right number in this time. So I'm here at 165. They're on a door. They're either there or I have absolutely no idea where they are. So 165, just to confirm again. Let's keep our fingers crossed, guys. Yes, we did it. We nailed it. Okay, so you have successfully caught one of the Atlantic 7. Now we are 3. We've caught 3 of the thieves at this point. And let's have a look. We've started with 50,000. So that's how much we've got left. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 31, 32, 34, 36,000. So we're 3 out of 7. And I don't think we're 3 of 7 into the money yet. So we're doing all right. So we removed the top card from the thing and return it to the box. But I'm just keeping them here. So we continue. Okay, so they've got some money. So annoyingly, they did make it to this space and they have moved somewhere else, just not there. So we know they're in one of these 2 spaces, but unfortunately, they are going to move again. Now, they did capture and commit a crime, so they've lost another 5,000. So there we go, that sucks. But it's part of the game. But we do get to pick up all of these cards back. They're back in our hand. Let's just rearrange them so they're in order for the people like me who really, care about sort of neatness. And then they've moved somewhere else. But annoyingly, we know that they're going to make another move before we catch them. So let's listen where they are. Okay. So they were definitely in here. We can guarantee that. Then they moved somewhere else. They would not have moved back onto the door, we know that. So they've moved to one of these two spaces, and they have now moved to a footprint space. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 options where they could be. Now this one I'm not sure about, because I believe they've robbed that crime scene, and I don't think the game will let them rob a previous crime scene. So they could be there, and it would make sense if they were trying to go for this place over here. So do we want to risk making an arrest on this space here? That is the question we must ask ourselves. But before we do that, we need to find out what thief we're playing with here. We've got the card sharp. Did anyone else think it was card shark? So not yet again says 174. I'm assuming 144 was probably the first robbery. Yes, I think so. I think it was the first robbery. So I think that... But you say 174. Sorry. You said 174. Yes. But... Oh, wait. I'm sorry. That was before, wasn't it? So not yet again. So there's a good chance they hit 154 in heading there the very first time. No, not here. Because remember, they came through a door and they would have gone there. But they are allowed to go back to a previous space after the turn has occurred. So we know that they were here last when I arrested them. They would not be able to go to 164 and then right back to 165, but they would be allowed to go to 164, then 154, then 165 again. They are allowed to retrace their steps after the turn. So you think they're at 174 now. Now, what makes you say that? Because they obviously they're still indoors, but the problem is that they're going to try and make robberies. Now we know they've hit these 3, so they could either be going for this one, or as you said, they could be making their way out towards the subway, or even just like outside somewhere to get to some of these other places. We don't know. We still don't have quite enough information. Robbery, anonymous, then walk. Yes, so it was robbery, so they definitely went here. Then it was somewhere, then walk. That's why we know that they're either here, 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 or here. Actually, they wouldn't be here. So it's either here, 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 or here. That's where I think they are. That's where I think they are. Oh, no, actually, no, because they wouldn't have been able to go back through. Anyway, talking to the card sharp, which I was always thought it was card shark. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thought that. But the card sharp's ability is, while at large, you ignore the effects on all of your cards except your lowest value one. Well, that's the one I need. So that means I'm allowed to pick me up. So none of my cards have abilities right now. I mean, I can't go through windows because apparently the card sharp just, they have that ability. So let's think. No doors. Yes. So they haven't gone through a door. We know that. So you say they've gone right. I'm thinking they still might be going after this treasure here. So I feel like I don't like to go against Twitch audience, but I feel like I want to go back this way just because that's the only place they haven't hit yet. And we know they're still in the building. If they are going towards a subway, even if we head towards here, we can still find out where they are and then quickly make our way to the subway. Or maybe you're right. I just have a feeling they're going to 123. I just have a feeling they're going to make our way there. So I'm going to go towards that way. Well, seeing that these cards have no abilities now, I'm going to use this one. I'm going to try and kind of go to this door over here, and then hopefully we'll see. So I'm going to go, again, use my own tip here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm going to go onto this door space here. And yeah, we're gonna see how that plays out. Do you generally try to hit all of the robbery spaces before leaving a building? No. But my feeling is if they are making their way outside, I will at least have enough of a head start where I can run after them. So if the next thing I hear is like a door, obviously I'm going to try to make an arrest. But if then I hear like outside, I'm like, okay, they've gone outside here. They can only move one space at a time, but I can make like quite a lot of moves in one go. So I could just run after them. So that's my thinking there. It's not perfect. It might not be the case. They might be going there. And so I might be making a mistake going over here. But just because there is a space here that they haven't robbed yet, that's my thinking. So I'm not going to make an arrest. Or maybe I do. Maybe I do make an arrest. In fact, I could even go back here and try and make an arrest there. Do I want to? I don't think I will, because I'm not sure yet if the rules are about the previous robberies count for the remainder of the game or just the round that they're doing in. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait it out and just be a little bit more sure. So let's say end turn and get another clue. So let's put this next to the microphone so you can hear it. They're in a door. They're in a door, and I think that they are in the door that I'm in. So I don't know how you feel about that, but I feel pretty confident that they could be where I am right now. Or the only other options are they could be here. They could well be here, actually. They could well be here, which would be very annoying, but at least I would have a chance to catch them before they get to the crime scene. So I'm going to make an arrest. It's cost me 1,000. It's fine. I think I can afford that. They're in a door. You're in a door. Doors all around, yes. So I am going to attempt arrest on 124 here. Again, is this going to be a costly mistake? We'll see. We shall see. I did make a mistake. That's fine. So $1,000 goes out. But I think I know where they are now. I think they're over here in 132. I think they're right here. I don't know about you. I still have money, so we're still in the game. So that's the end of the turn. So listen, if we hear footsteps, I'm pretty sure I know where they are. So let's have a look. I think they're here. It's a little strange that we don't get them when we are in the same space. No, yes, I understand. But thematically, the way that you could imagine this to make sense to you, hopefully, and to everyone, is when you're in these buildings, you're not the only people in here with the thieves. These buildings are like populated by lots of members of the public who are going in and out. So you are just kind of in the same space, but there's like crowds of people around you. So you just need to like make an arrest at the most suspicious person at that space. And obviously, if you're wrong, then they'll be like, no, whatever. But if you catch the right person, then hopefully that makes sense. These must be incredibly populated spaces. Well, the funny thing is, one of the things that makes me laugh about this game in a nice way is just the idea that when you're playing the competitive game, the person that you're robbed, well, I go to the crime scene, for example, and I attempt to make an arrest, and it's the wrong person, but the thief will literally will be right there, and they may make like an attempt at the crime scene. So they've just seen me arrest someone. They're like, now's the perfect time to make a robbery when there's a detective right there and somebody has just tried to make a robbery. So thematically, obviously it doesn't quite make sense, but at least it just makes me laugh a little bit. It's quite funny. So I'm going to go here. So I can get there in, 3 spaces. So let's just do that. Let's not waste a high value card. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, and I'm going to make an arrest on space 1, 2, 2. So let's have a look. 1, 2, 2. Fingers crossed, guys. Fingers crossed. Yeah, we got him. So there we go. We've caught the 4th one. You've successfully caught one of the Atlantic 7. Now, I have a horrible feeling that they are actually going to make a hit on that space there. So anyway, we get rid of this. They go out of the game. We press continue. Yeah. So they've made it to there, meaning they do steal another $5,000 from our supply, and we've got 3 left to go, and we've got 25,000. So that's good. That's very good. I think we're doing fine. It does feel very Hollywood by the skin of their teeth robberies, yes. So if you've ever watched a Hollywood film, you are basically on the same wavelength as this game. The game looks beautiful, by the way. The artwork is very nice, and they have really taken care to make it look very nice. So the gang has moved again. So we know they went here, and we know they've gone somewhere else other than back to space 122. So they are on one of these 2 spots right now. So the good news is the next clue will be very helpful for us, because if we hear a door, they are here. Although technically they could go from here to here, but we'll see. If they hear an outside, we know that they're in one of these spaces. Actually, I've just realized if we hear a door, they could be in this space here, because they could have gone to here and then right there. So this is not going to be very helpful at all. That anonymous is not helpful in this room. Yes, I know, it's not very helpful. So we press continue. We get all our cards back, but before we do that, we're going to find out what the next thief is. We've got the face. So that's clearly a reference to the A team. While at large, all movement cards are reduced by 2. Well, that's not great for these 2 cards. That surely does not mean I can't use that card. No way. This just can't, right? I'm going to look in the rules for that because I'm pretty sure you can't reduce a movement card to like 0. That's wild. It doesn't say anything in it. It could mean that actually it's just a useless card. That card just slows me right down. I want to know also how that works. Thematically, does that mean like I am so kind of, like affected by seeing this person's face? Is he that attractive that I'm like, whoa, I can't move? I don't know. But it doesn't matter. So anyway, we're going to get the clue first. We're going to get the clue and see where they are. Okay. That's kind of annoying. Okay, so the good news is they're not here. So they're not in these doors. The thing is they could be here, they could be here, or they could be here. So there's 3 spaces they could be. Do I want to, by the way, use this card right here to get a tip as to which building they're in? Because that will narrow down at least whether it's in this one or one of these. Actually, technically it could be that one as well, because he could have gone here and then here, as just as he could have gone here and then here, or he could have gone here and here. So this one at least narrows out it's not that one, and they'll still be in the same building, which to me will be very weird, because why would they stay in the same building when there's nothing left to rob there? So I'm going to use this. I'm going to get myself a private tip because I have got a little bit of money to play with at the moment. Tip time. I like that. That could work not only for this game but for the stream as well. Anyway, tip time it is. I think we're going to do this. So first of all, before moving, we're going to get a tip. So this is just going to tell us whether they're in this building or this building. So let's get a private tip. Yes. Spend $1,000. Okay. So they're in this building. So we know they're not here. We know they're not here. That's all we know. Okay, but that's fine. We can live with that information. So now I get to move 1 space. So let's just move back up here because it's literally the only space that we can go. So that card goes. And now we make the end of the turn, and we're just going to get another clue straight away. What are we hoping for, by the way? I would like to see an outside sound. That's what I'd really like to hear. Because I think they could be here. They could be here. If they're in here, I think they could be up here. But there's nothing left in here to rob. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. So they're inside. That's good because it means they are not... that means they're not in a... they're not outside, and actually it means they're probably here or here right now. I think they're either here or here. 1, 2, 6, and 1, 4, 4. We don't want indoors for sure. Yes, that's right. And look what we got. We got indoors. But it does help a little bit, because they are either in one of these 2 spaces. So that's actually great. Do we think they've gone up here again, or do we think they've gone up here? I don't think there's anything here to steal. So I think they may go up here to try and get outside, maybe. It doesn't make sense. Like, I can't figure out their motives here. Maybe they're just trying to lose me, like on a wild goose chase. But I think that, let's go. I think I'm going to try and make an arrest here. I think how sweet it would be that... we can get them in the same place that we got the first one. Could they have gone 1, 2, 2 anon, and then 1, 3, 2 door, now 1, 5, 2, 1, 3? What do you say? So you said, sorry, because I have to keep checking my computer for this. It says, could they have gone 1, 2, 2 anon? No, because they moved from there. We caught them there, so they couldn't go back there. That's why we can rule out pretty much these spaces. So we know that they made a crime scene, then an anonymous, then a door, and now footsteps. So we know that they could have either gone here, here, and then here. They could have gone here, 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 or they could have gone here, here, here. And I think, based on the fact that they're not going to go back into the room again, because there's nothing left for them in here, I mean, we're assuming that they've gone upwards to 1, 2, 6. So I think we're going to make our way upwards. Now, because we've got reduced movement on this, we need to figure out how much it's going to take us to get there. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6, meaning we could get there with this card, or we could just use this card. We need to save our big movement cards in case we're wrong. So I'm going to use this. I'm going to use the 8 card. So I'm going to move, again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm going to attempt to rest on 1, 2, 6. I think that's... okay, we'll see. 1, 2, 6, confirm. I just kind of went for that one. Yes, we did it! We did it! We got you, bastard! Sorry, this is family friendly. Sometimes it's just too tempting to use a little swear because you get so excited. So yeah, okay. So we've caught them, which is great. So that means that card is done. We've actually almost got to Debbie Atlantic now. Debbie's the one we need to catch to win the game. So we're one more thief away. Remove the top card, return it to the box. I get all my cards back, so let's pop these back. And then let's do a continue. Okay, so they moved 2 spaces anonymously. We just know they haven't gone to the subway, which doesn't help because we know that the subway's too far away and there's no crime scenes left. So they could literally be 2 spaces anywhere from us. Wow, 2 arrests in the same space. Well done, yes. See, I told you, I thought it'd be really cool. Like, I was like, caught you. What does it say? The thief always returns to the scene of the crime. So, so we're going to go on and we're going to find out where, actually, we're still kind of focused on, ironically, we've not needed any of these other 3 spaces of the board. Well, technically this one, but we've not literally needed this side of the board yet. We could have played the whole thing on this side of the board and only a little bit of this one. So, can you hear that siren? That's actually really appropriate because that's actually matching the... I purposely live next to a police station just so I could play this game, Stop Thief, and it's... actually, it's not a police station, it's a dispatch centre, I think. So they've got like ambulances and the police stuff. Very fitting for this. Nice ambience, yeah. I don't know if you can hear it, I'm not sure. I mean, I can hear it, so chances are you can. But I don't know how loud it is. But anyway, that's not the app, that's just where I live. Don't even live in a rough area, by the way. Okay, so so before we resolve that, we know they've turned to anonymous spaces, and before we get the new clue, we're going to see what the penultimate thief we're dealing with is. Inside Man. Okay, I take it back. This guy looks more like Bernie Mac from the thing. I think his more hair and the build is slightly better, but he's got more of the facial. He's got more of the facial hair that matches him. They've both got very similar sides. Maybe this is more of a, I don't know. The Inside Man. Anyway, sorry, my Bernie Mac obsession is not a real obsession, I promise. It's just that, like, it looks a lot like him to me. So the Inside Man, while at large, if the pack moves onto a door space, select Get Clue again immediately. Well, that's worrying. That's worrying. Yes, you can hear it. Cool. That's good. Oh, immersion levels through the roof. Thank you, C-Sint. I'm not sure if I spelled that, I have pronounced that correctly, but thank you for watching. So yeah, the Inside Man, if you move onto a door, then they're going to get another move. So why do you think that is? I'm going to guess it's because the Inside Man is almost like a... oh, that's cool. I didn't notice this before, but there's literally a kind of bio of the man, of the criminal, just behind the photograph. You can't actually read it, but the first word in here said nature of... So I'm going to assume that's like nature of the crime. And on the bottom here it says... something dented impersonation. So maybe this person's like known for like impersonating people. That's pretty cool. Okay, so we're going to try and get this guy, but before we do it, we're going to find out the last audio clue before we can move. Okay, so they're outside right now. So let's play it on for a second. We know that they started on space 126 and they made 2 moves, which could be anything that's not a subway space or a crime space. And then the third move was outside. So they could either have gone 1, 2, 3 in either of these 2 spaces, but they could have also gone 1, 2, and then they could be in any of these spaces either. So actually there's 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces they could be. Now, there's no point getting a tip at the moment because that would just tell us that they're in Street 5 because all of these numbers are number 5. This is 6, but we know they're not there. So we're just going to have to take a go at it. And I think they're going to make their way towards this building, which is the Trust US Bank, because I think that's where the closest crime scene is, to be honest. So do we want to kind of like just jump out here and see where they are? The annoying thing is, if they go through a door, they're going to get to go again, which means that they could literally, if they get here, which they could be 1, 2, 3 spaces, they could go dun dun and immediately make a thing. So do we want to get close to there just in case? I think we do, right? I don't want to risk I mean, if they do a crime scene, we'll know that it's going to be there. So I think that we need to play it cautious right here. Even if they're up there, it's fine. We can live with that. So I think that we're going to go towards this space here. We're going to wait it out. No, I think we're going to just try and make an arrest here. That's so risky. But if they aren't there, we at least will be able to catch them before they do like a dung, dung, dung. You know what I mean? Because again, of this guy's ability. So I'm going to just try and get there. So I need to get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 spaces, which is fine. So let's play this one, the 7 card. Let's play it. So it says, I would go west because you have big cards to move you faster. Yes. So I think that, as I've explained, it's probably a lag, a delay in the lag or whatever. But yeah, I just think that this is the best space because as soon as this character moves through a door, they get another clue. So they can move through a door, and then immediately commit the crime. So I just don't want that to happen. If they're in any of these other spaces, I still have time to catch them. So I'm going to go here. So let's go again in this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They go here. Oh. Trying to do that without there. So that's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to attempt to make an arrest on this. So let's go here. Let's make the arrest, guys, on space 503. This is ballsy, but you know what? You don't succeed at being a private investigator without... I wish there was I wish I had like a fanfare, like a little trumpet or something, but that's pretty impressive. Luckily, if he had gone in there, he would have immediately caught that. So that was very fortunate. So the inside man has been caught. The inside man is now a man on the inside in jail. No, that doesn't make sense. Sorry, I'm terrible at coming up with puns on the fly. No, actually, I'm not bad, but that was a terrible one. Sorry. Okay, so yeah, dang, yes, thank you, not yet again. Thank you. I like to be congratulated when I make a good move. Okay, so that's made me appreciate this game just a bit more because the way that the thieves move makes logical sense. They are trying to, for the most part, do the thing that's most logical because they want to just commit the crimes and get the money. But they can sometimes like do something that isn't quite what you expect, kind of like do a back on itself move, which again thieves will do. But yeah, I like this. So thanks for the cheers on that. So we removed that card. So we know that they were here, and now we know that they've moved 2 spaces anonymously. I think I know where they are, but I think the next thing is going to be a crime scene. But Debbie Atlantic, she is the big criminal mastermind behind this whole gang, and I've caught the rest of her gang now. So there's six down, 1 to go, but this one is the most important. And this means, let's have a look at the status of the game right now. I have $24,000, so I'm doing pretty good right now. I've got just under half the amount left with 1 of 7, so that would be about $7.13 thousand left if I was losing. If I was to equate that a seventh of the total would be 7, so I'm way over it at the moment. I did pick the easy mode. I think I picked normal mode, so yeah, I'm probably not challenged enough here, but I'm enjoying it. So we know they've gone twice. That's fine. Debbie Atlantic's thing is when you get a clue, get 2 instead. Okay, so Debbie has a very it definitely feels more like AI and less robotic. Yes, I agree with that, which is nice because it does help you plan the moves. If it was just like, I'm just going to move to a random space every turn with an eventual goal to get to a crime scene, then it would feel like really frustrating. It might actually be a bit like that in the competitive mode, just to throw people off. But I like the competitive mode because everyone's like, okay, they're there, and it's like a race to get there. But yeah, it's cool. Okay, so we've captured everyone but this, so she's going to get 2 turns, which sucks. So we're going to get actually 2 clues. I have a feeling she's there. I have a feeling she's here. She's going there. So if this is a crime scene, I want it noted that I know exactly where she is. Okay, so that was unexpected. So that means that they're on a subway space. Here's the thing. They had 2 moves, right? And both of those moves were not subway spaces. So by that logic, because it would have told us if they were on a subway space. By that logic, they must be here. Okay, but they are going to get another turn. So we know that they're on this spot right now, but they are going to get another turn because that's Debbie Atlantic's superpower. Special ability, I should say. So we're going to do end turn and go again. So I think we just have to end our turn and then get another clue. So it's going to be a subway, I reckon. Oh. Okay. So, again, just to clarify, if they had moved and they're anonymous, the laughter, if they move into a crime scene or subway space, you'll hear the regular sound. So we know that was the first, that was where they were last turn. They are now on one of these 4 spaces, but because of logic of the game, we know they're not here because they have gone in here and then here. Again, weird, but it's like kind of backtracking itself. Otherwise, it'd be too easy. So then they went here because there's no way they would have got to another space. And they didn't use the subway, which is interesting. They've gone here, or here. I'm wondering, because we have enough money right now, I just want to make sure that I know that you can use a subway space on your turn. So it's possible they've moved. It's possible that they did move. So on that basis, do we want to get a private tip just to find out where they are? I think that we want to do that. I'm going to go for it. So let's take this opportunity to play this card and get ourselves just a little hint about where we are. Although I've just realized if this says, it's in Street 8, for example, it's not really going to tell us whether they're here or here because I don't know the movement of... I could have checked this. So let's have a look at the thing. So the pack always move to a new subway space if they enter... Okay. All right. So we know that they've moved somewhere. So I think this is the perfect time to get a private tip to find where the heck they are, and then we're going to run towards them and catch. Because remember, they're moving 2 spaces. Okay, so we're moving, before moving, get a private tip. So let's have a look. Pay $1,000. Yeah, that's fine. I'm happy with that. Pay that. Get a private tip. Okay, so they've moved over here, which means that they are currently on one of these 2 spaces. Actually, you can't see that anymore. So let's do this thing where I'm going to move the app over so you can see. There we go. So did you get 2 tips with Debbie? Yes. Debbie's special ability is like you get the clue, but then you miss your go and then they get another clue. So they're going to make 2 moves before each turn. So there we go. Debbie go. Tap here to continue. Yeah. So we know that they're in one of these 2 spaces here. Now, I could rush over here to try and catch them. I think they're going to go for this crime scene space here, which is number 277. And so because of that, I think just getting to here, yes, we're not going to catch them. But if we know they're there and we can like rush in and capture them, I think that's what we're going to have to try and do. So to get to there, we need 1, 2, 3, 4 spaces to get to the subway, and then we get a free movement to this one over here. Unless we find there's a more efficient way of getting... wait, we still get to move 3 spaces, right? We're not going to get to the subway space, but... Damn. Yeah, I didn't move yet, did I? So I still got to make 3 spaces. It's very windy. It's very windy, so... It's very windy. It's a bit scary, actually. Because you can hear, like, things rattling around. It's fine. If the video feed cuts, I've been blown out of my apartment. Okay, so could I use a higher value card just to run over here? I don't think so. It was a lot of spaces. Let's just count it out just in case. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, it's too many spaces. So annoyingly, I'm not going to get to use the subway this turn, which is annoying. But you know what? It's fine. So that's the end of my turn. We found out she's in one of these 2 spaces, and I have a feeling she's going to capture this. And actually, this means it could ramp up. It could ramp up. Yeah, Steph says, don't worry, nothing will happen to you. Thank you. No, I'm trying to make light of a not very troubling situation. So yeah, don't worry. I'm totally fine. I'm not worried or anything. Anyway, so I'm going to move these cards out the way a little bit now because these are actually getting in the way. So let's do that instead. There we go. So that's the end of my turn. We're going to do 2 turns for Debbie. So let's see where she's going this turn. She's gone in here, and I know what's going to happen. She's going to go right here. Technically, if she went this way, then she would do footsteps. So if we know footsteps, we could still catch her before she does too much damage. Although she could go after this one instead. So that's the risk. Okay, anyway, end turn. Slide to get clue. She's outside again. What the hell is she doing? What the hell is this woman doing? She's not going after the goods. We know she's on one of these spaces. So let's have a think. She was definitely here. So then she did a door and then an outside. So she's either here or she's here. So we literally know where she is now. One of two spaces. So do I still rush over here? Do I still rush over here and try and get on the subway to try and catch her? I think so. I can get rid of my really low card and pick up all my cards again just to use the subway. And then literally like find out where she's gone next. She's not going to be able to steal anything this turn though. For a mastermind, for a criminal mastermind, she's not doing a very good job in my opinion. So I'm going to just use my lowest value card. I'm going to play the 2. I'm going to go into the subway, end my movement, but I'm going to move over to this subway here. You can see. And then I'm going to literally end my turn, picking up all of my cards. And then we're going to end my turn and see where she is. So she's in one of these two spaces. You know what? I could use the other figures to mark where she could be, but it could get ridiculous. So I'm just going to get another clue. She's here. She's here. So she's either going to go outside or she's going to go to one of these 3 spaces, which is very annoying because that's going to make it very difficult. Maybe that's her goal. Maybe she's like, okay, he's on to me, but I can... Oh, actually, technically... she's on to me, but I'm going to make her life very difficult to try and catch. So yeah, anyway, we end the turn. We're going to get another turn. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be footsteps on the inside. Yeah. So she is definitely one of these 3 spaces. So, I mean, my gut tells me 274. Debbie is no Carmen Sandiego. She's like, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? Oh, there she is. Okay. So we're gonna go onto one of these 3 spaces. It's gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I could get there. I could get there and just go for it. 274. What do you think? Open the door, jump through the window. she's a silly person. She's just terrible at her job. Would you say being a criminal is a career? I know you can be a career criminal, but is that like a legit job? Like it's an illegal job. It shouldn't be allowed. Does that mean it's actually a career? These are the questions that plague my mind. They may now plague your mind. So welcome to the crazy kind of rambling thoughts of Russell Chapman. So I'm going to just rush into one of these spaces and just make an arrest. May as well. Could 1 in 3 chance of catching, and then there's a good chance I'll be able to get them next turn because we'll have more information. So I think 274. I mean, realistically, if she's going after the money, these 2 are the ones she wants to go to. It's going to be one of these 2. That one gives her more options about which ones she could go to, but this one is quicker. I'm going to take a chance. I'm going to do 27. Oh, you say 274. All right. You know what? I'm going to go with you. I think 275 could also be because that allows her access to closer to 2 crime scenes. But if she was after that one, she would have just gone through the door, right? So I'm going to go with you. I'm going to go with you, not yet again. And I'm going to go on 274. So let's see how we get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Or I could go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You know what? Just because it's fun to go through the window, I'm going to go through the window. So I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8. I'm going to make an arrest on 274. Let's go. 274. I was going to say, I thought we made an arrest in 274 before, but it was 174, and that was bad luck for us. But maybe our luck will change. Let's see. Yes! Yes, yes, yes! We did it. We actually did it. That's amazing. We successfully caught one of the Atlantic 7, but oh, even better than that, we caught the head of the Atlantic 7. So Debbie Atlantic is now behind bars with the rest of her gang. Let's put them all on display here. Here we go. We caught them. We caught them all. We caught them all here. And there we go. You win. You successfully captured the... I'm going to put them back onto the board game mix. Yes, goal, goal, goal. That's a cool emoji, by the way. Congratulations, you captured Danny Atlantic's entire gang. Except it's not Danny Atlantic, it's actually Debbie Atlantic. So, Yes, Debbie Atlantic. Here we go. We can watch a replay. Wait, let's watch the replay. What the hell? Oh, wow. So it actually tells us the exact method of the thing. That's awesome. Okay, my camera's slightly changed. There we go. That's awesome. Congrats. Thank you. This is awesome. I love it when you win a game solo and there are people here to watch it. So let's have a look, because this is a cool feature. In fact, I might zoom in on this because this is just too cool. Actually, you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it up to the camera here. How's that? That's probably better, right? So let's have a look here. We go, first of all, it was started down here. So we had no idea. Then they, let's just do play. Oh, wow, look. That's cool. It literally reveals exactly the way it goes. That's so cool. I literally did not know this happened before. It's going to tell us where the arrests occurred as well. Oh my god, Crimmy Master, you cheered. That's so fantastic. Oh no, the new thingy didn't come up. Oh my god, Steph, you are so kind. You are so very kind. Thank you so much. I don't know if you want to watch this whole thing because it's quite long, but it is a really cool thing on the app. Look, I just love it. It's just like you can watch how it all went down. Look, they did go up to that door and back down. That's so crazy. I'm watching the screen because it's easier for me to see. So then they went down, and then they went. Look, then they caught that thing. But have they revealed where we caught them yet, or have I missed that? So I'm pretty sure it tells us where they catch it, right? We caught them here, so we'll know. I might have missed it when I was being cheered by Steph, which is very kind. No, it didn't. It didn't tell us where we caught them. I definitely caught them there, right? Okay, so there we go, and it carries on. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think of this game. As I said, I was gifted this game. It wasn't even for a review, it was just for a gift. So I guess I can say what I like about the game. I think it's a very neat, and it's kind of nice because it kind of walks you through the audio clues as well. So it kind of makes it really clear, the clues that we get. But it's nice to see the tale play out in real time. Oh look, and then they went down there. See, that's very nice. They did not need to do this, but this is such a nice additional extra of the game. It's awesome. So yeah, then they come here. We're coming close to the end now. This is where Debbie Atlantic took over. She went in the door and then she went back out. And she's like, you know what? I'm just going to go through the window instead. She's like, no, there's too many people here. I don't want to cause a disturbance. So instead, I'll just smash the window. And then there we go. And that's where we caught her. Very much all down to all of you. You all helped with that one. So thank you so much. So yeah, let's just, before we go and before we end the stream, by the way, I wanted to point out, if you didn't know, my good friend Emma, she is doing a stream, Mzaja, which is MEMMZAJA. And if you want to, she's doing one of her new, because she's basically making the commitment to do streaming and board game Pointless podcast and all the related stuff full time. So if you could support her by watching her, maybe even following her. She's doing a stream at 6 where she's chatting to people. I'm not sure who she's chatting to, but I'll be tuning in. So that's at 6 o'clock. And yes, no, that is very true. We can always say what we think. That is very true. But I often feel like I'm not obliged to do a review. That's the difference. I've not received this as a review copy. So ironically, by saying what I like, I can say that I loved it, even if I actually hated it, because I'm not obliged to review it. But obviously, there's no point in doing that because that would harm my reputation as someone who has tastes and opinions on games. So obviously, I'm never going to do that. But what I think the difference is that this is not provided to me as a review copy. So yes, I feel like I could just avoid saying if I really hated certain aspects of the game. I think that's what I meant. And again, it wouldn't behoove me to do that necessarily, but maybe, if I'm not reviewing a game, and again, doesn't mean that this applies to this game. It's just kind of something to think about. But I do like hearing people's thoughts on the whole reviewing thing, because obviously it's gone through a lot right in recent months about the sort of like the duties and the expectations of reviewing and what our sort of I'm gonna just focus this because this is actually very related to this is actually very related to streaming in general. But yeah, I think there's been a lot of talk lately about what the actual duties, expectations are of people who receive games, whether they need to announce things, whether you should state whether you've been given something for free, etc., and what we actually call ourselves. That seems to be a whole like hot pot of issues, which I'm actually really enjoying kind of observing and occasionally participating in. So yeah, it's a very strange time for people who do content creation. And I think Rodney actually kickstarted this whole conversation when they started doing his new like kind of talking bits when he was doing that. So this would be really interesting with other players, and I wonder if you could play remotely. Well, actually, you definitely can. The only thing, because you take turns, right? So there's no. The only thing is that we would reveal information that you wouldn't necessarily have to reveal, but technically, anyone with a sort of like decent memory could work out what you've got. So usually the way the game works is you take a turn and then you play one of your cards, you move the spaces, and then you make an arrest. And that's the same whether you play solo or competitively or cooperatively with other players. But if you're playing remotely, you would just reveal an open hand, and then you would obviously direct the player with the game to tell you where you want to move and make an arrest. So it's perfect remote game for that. Crimmy Master Steph says, if I can provide arguments, I do not care about the publisher. I think it's always helpful to give an opinion on a game. I really do. I think that it might not be useful to some people, but it will definitely be helpful to others out there. So I think it's very good to give an opinion on a game. So my opinion of the game is when we played the single player, I found the game was fun. It's very light, so obviously you have to go into the game knowing that there is some elements of luck, and the elements of luck come in when you are playing with other players. You might end up going somewhere to chase a thief, and maybe you're behind everybody else, right? But maybe the thief, when they're caught, I'm just going to use an example. So this is the only kind of like sort of thing I noticed when I was playing with multiplayer. So let's say that I'm the blue player, the thief is somewhere over here. They've caught the thief, right? So let's say red players caught the thief. They've just committed a crime. The thief can start anywhere they want. The next player might be the black player. The thief could be there. The thief can start there. That's the randomness. So that means this player not only has an advantage because they are the next player to go, but the thief is very close, so they could potentially catch them on the same turn, right? And when you get a private tip in this game, you get exactly where they are. So the private tip is only to you. So that's the only bit that you'd have to figure out when you're doing remote play, is how you would show only that player. Maybe the other players can like close their eyes or whatever. So that's how you would do it using remote play. But that's the only way that luck in this game plays a part. So you could, and blue players like, there's no way I'm going to catch it before all those three, right? So that's the only way that the luck element plays into this game. But honestly, it's a nice light game. This was a beloved game as it was. So I mean, even if I hated it, whether I absolutely loved it, this game does have an audience. So that's exactly why they made it, because they know that they've got an audience that's going to care about this game. And I think they've done a really good job with it. This kind of thing, this kind of extra bit is fantastic. Oh, and here we go, the last bit. Private, I'm going to go back to the board game mix, because there's one more thing I want to do before I wrap up the stream, which is just to show you again, my camera is not behaving today. I need to do some other stuff with regard to this camera in terms of how I make it behave. So there we go. It's a nice little bit there. It says PI clean streets single-handedly, and there's actually just a load of garbage words to make up the thing, but that's pretty cool. So so there we go, exit, and we won. So there we go. So the last thing I'm going to do before we wrap up the stream is I'm going to show you some of the Easter eggs in this game, because they are pretty cool. So as you'll know, Restoration Games, this is not the first game they've made, and there are lots of little Easter eggs in here, so you will notice. Let me have a look, see if I can find some. So the most telling one is actually the most telling one are the names of the places. These are obviously references to stuff. Dr. Doyle, we know that the most famous detective of all is Sherlock Holmes, and that was the master. That was that was done by the brainchild of Arthur Conan Doyle. And so this, I'm trying to find the chat thing because I find it hard to keep going back over there. So I'm going back into the chat. So basically, Dr. Doyle is a reference to Conan Doyle. I'm pretty sure of that. Then let's have a look at the other Easter eggs. We've got little things in here. Trying to find them. Goodness me. Okay, so I might have to just spend a couple of minutes looking at the board. There is definitely some references to other games in here. I just need to figure out where. And there's probably some that I haven't found yet because there is a lot in this game. Okay, here we go. So if you look here, it's a very exciting stream, this, isn't it? Well, I'm just looking at a board. You know what the really annoying thing is I'm pretty sure there's things in here that I don't recognize because I'm not the best at spotting them. That's why I leave it up to other people. But I've definitely spotted some. Why can I not find them? Okay, so here we go. Here's one. If you look at this board here, and again, I'm not sure if it's going to pick up on the stream, but you see here, we've got a board game section of the shop. So in Cinnaton's, the department store, we have a board game selection, and you'll notice 2 games on the bottom there. I don't know if they'll come up on the camera, but that is a little copy of Pandemic Legacy, and that is a copy of Seafall. Both of those games share a designer by the name of Rob Daviau, who you will remember, if you listened at the beginning of this stream, is the designer of this game, or one of the designers. So there we go, that's one of the most obvious references. There's another little bit here. You'll see in the stockroom, there's a little shipment of boxes, and that box has a logo on it, and you'll never guess what logo it is. Yes, it belongs to Restoration Games, so the publisher of this game. So there we go. There's 2 of them. Again, there's probably more, but the problem is I have literally not found them all. But yeah, I don't know what the references to these other ones are, but I'm almost positive they're a reference to something. I could even say that the fact is they've got modern antiquity. There's dinosaurs in here. Restoration Games published Unmatched series, and so they have a Jurassic Park box set of that. That could be a reference for that. So there we go. You can assume that is a reference there. And then I'm just going to do a quick look in case I find any others. There probably are, to be honest. I'm just very bad at observing. There's little... Oh, actually, do you know what? I've realised I found a person. This board has no people on it, at least I thought there wasn't, and yet I found one. There's a little busker there. There's a little musician. He looks a little bit like he could be a Michael Jackson kind of esque character, but there we go. I don't know what that is, if that's a reference to something, but that's cool. And I'm sure there's little artworks on here. There's paintings all over the place. There's a Vincent van Gogh painting in there. I don't know what it's doing there because I'm pretty sure it's in a museum in Holland. Netherlands, sorry, that's his old name. And yeah, that's it. Anyway, I won't take up too much time because I want to have a little snack before I oh no, there's 2 more games. I can't believe I missed them. One of them, I think one of these games is one of the games that Rob Daviau mentioned on our stream with him. He said it was a game he wished he had more love. It's the bottom right one, and that was one he actually told me I should go and try once because he thought it was good. And the other one there is Down Force. Is it Down Force? Which is the racing game. So there we go. You can see that there. Anyway, thank you so much, guys, for bearing with me that one. I struggle to find the references. Oh my gosh. I wish I could show you how lovely the weather is. It's pouring down with rain, and you might think I'm joking, but actually I really love the rain. So listen, thank you so much for tuning in. It's been an absolute pleasure to play this game along with you guys. And if you are not a follower already, I know you probably already are, but if you are not a follower, please consider following me either on YouTube as a subscriber or on Twitch as a follower, which is just free to do. So thank you so much. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I look forward to seeing you all on the next stream. Thanks for watching.